Ready to rock.
All right. Hey, everyone. I am here today. We're going to do our first ever interview for the Weekly Pulse. And I'm here with a colleague slash workout partner slash patient of my, or I'm a patient of his, and that is Dr. Marcus Alvarado from Alvarado Healthcare. How's it going today,
Don't
buddy?
forget friend.
And friend.
Good.
Importantly, friend.
Golly.
How
That's right.
did I forget that part?
That's right. That's the most important one. Doing
So,
good. Doing good. Thursday, we just had a big rain shower outside. Got a quick video of that. It was pretty cool. And my water heater is broke. So I took a freezing cold shower, but I am energized and ready to rock.
sweet. So, Alvarado Healthcare, what is that? If somebody has no idea who you are, what is or who is Alvarado Healthcare?
Yeah, so Alvarado Healthcare, we're primarily a chiropractic office, started almost 6 years ago, and we basically help improve the function of people's bodies through manual therapy.
Okay. So, I am a current patient of Marcus, so I will, chime in, kind of with my opinions of things as we kind of go along. But, I just want to kind of get more into the weeds of what makes you who you are, what makes Alvarado Healthcare what it is, and maybe what makes you different or unique from just other chiropractors.
Sure.
Do things and how you operate, because I think there is a difference, and maybe
Yes.
I can give my perspective. Um, but just out the gate, kind of what is it that you think separates you from, just standard chiropractors?
Yeah, so standard chiropractors, all chiropractors go to school and learn how to adjust and manipulate joints. And so that's kind of the bare basics that you learn. And then after you finish school, you kind of have a decision to make. Are you going to just do adjustments or do you want to offer more types of treatments? Now, if you just do adjustments, I mean, you can see 30 people in an hour and just adjust everybody. But the problem is that sometimes people have more complex issues that require more than just an adjustment. And especially athletes or people who are wanting to be, go to the gym and stay active and stay mobile. So there's much more than just fixing a joint component. There's also the strength component and the neurological component of fixing people's problems. So when I got out of school, I knew that I wanted to work on athletes and people who are active. So I started learning more, going to seminars when I was actually a first year student, started to go to seminars outside of school to learn how to treat other things other than just spine. So shoulders, ankles, knees, hips, and to learn that there's more than just the adjustment that you can do to help people. There's the muscle component, the fascial component, and then the neurologic component. It's one thing to have the tissue be able to work well, but how well do you use your brain to control that? Sometimes I'll use like a puppet, I'm trying to think of what they're called, but I'll basically explain to people that, if two people are trying to move one of these little puppets, right? You and I trying to move a little puppet, we would not be able to do it, be able to make it do what we want it to do. But someone who's very, very skilled would know how to move their hand perfectly to make the puppet do what they want it to do. And when it comes to your body, you can make the tissue healthy and heal properly, but then how does your brain control or manipulate your body to do what it wants to do? So anytime you've heard someone of like stumbling over or you reach down to grab something and your back goes out, that's you not moving the puppet well. That's you not controlling your body in a good functional manner. So we want to retrain you how to use your body in a way it was designed to be used through exercise, through movement, to help improve how your body operates and works.
Ah, so pretty much you are my puppet master when I come in here.
Yeah, we want to teach you absolutely how to use your own puppet, how to use your own body in a way it was meant to be used.
And I say that, because it really brings it, triggers exactly where kind of me and you are at, what we're working on. I come in, I'm on part of his, monthly treatment plan. So I don't have any major issues going on, but I still come in once a month to check out, you kind of ask me what's going on. And we kind of search to make sure the whole body is performing at its peak. And recently, we found that my, left glute isn't firing the way that it should. Uh,
Yes.
Certain movements, and we figured that out. And now I'm working on. So I came in here and, no adjustment at all. Uh, so just to give people an idea, like it's not just adjustments when you come in here that, we're working on muscle, muscle strength and my mind to the muscle, connecting the mind and muscle together to
Yes.
these muscles fire when they're supposed to, which
Yeah, and I would say, Jeff, that's a huge point that you just made there, because we don't treat pain, we treat function, right? If you can take a medication that will get rid of your pain in 30 to 45 minutes, right? I can't always guarantee you're going to be pain free when you leave, but I can guarantee your body functions better. So if you want to get rid of pain, you could take a medication that's going to do better than me any day of the week. An injection can get better your pain way better than I can, but I can help your body improve how it functions and operates, which is going to eventually lead to decreased pain and improved function. So when a patient comes in, I'm not just concerned with whether or not you have pain. I want to know how are things operating, because a lot of people will have dysfunction but no pain. You can have someone with stage 4 cancer walking around who has no clue that they have that, right? So it's not causing pain, but that body is not functioning the way it's supposed to. So that would be a point I would want the audience to take away is we treat function, which will lead to decreased pain. We're not just looking to see where there's pain. You can, chase pain all day and not get it better if you're just trying to treat pain.
yeah, and again, that's why I come is for preventative care because like I'm an athlete. I play hockey, I play softball, I play basketball, anything with my kids, and I have no problem doing those things. But then I was in yoga one day and she had us doing this certain position, and I was like, holy crap, I can't even begin to do this certain movement with my hips and watch
Yes.
somebody else in the room do it. I was like, well, what's going on? So that's what even brought it about. So I asked you, and we went over it, and that's how we
Yes.
found the trigger. And the most important thing is that if I don't fix this, eventually it will lead to pain. It's going to cause dysfunction, which is going to cause me pain somewhere down the line, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's just like a cascade effect. Anytime a negative thing happens in your life, if you don't fix it, it can always cascade and snowball into more bad things, right? Well, I didn't work out today, so I'm going to go home and sit around and not do anything. And I don't feel like cooking tonight, so I'm going to eat a crappy meal. And then next thing you know, it just snowballs into more bad decisions or more bad things. But it also, on the other side, when you take care of problems like this early, it can provide for more good things. Because let's say that, now that you've been working on your hip and you're playing hockey and it comes to a point where you need that glute to fire. And because you've been working on it, you were able to use it in the manner it was designed to use, and you avoided a major injury. Now, that's really hard to measure and know, but I can tell you that, a strong muscle always works better than a weak muscle. So just doing the strengthening, you're going to get better operation and function out of that joint.
Yeah, perfect. Which would be even better, at my stage of my athletic career, just being able to play is the number
Yes.
one goal. If I so happen to get a little bit better, then that's just an added bonus. But for what else,
Yeah,
or I just need to be able to stay on the ice, keep up. Obviously, I got two little kids. They're 3 and 5. I got a long time to be able to, that I have to be able to keep up. So that's
absolutely.
priority number one is, keeping up with them.
Yeah, and I would say it makes me think of like Tom Brady. If you look at, Tom Brady played into his 40s, one of the best athletes of all time. And if you look and see, if you read on his treatment regimen, you're going to see that regardless of if he had pain or not, the way that he was getting treated and the things that he was doing to keep his body functional it's insane. The amount of time that he took before and after every game, regardless of pain, to keep his body functional was just at the top of the level. It was way above what anyone else was doing. And it allowed him to have a very long, successful career with, I mean, he had that major ACL, I think in 2007, 2008. But yeah, I mean, taking care of your body, whether or not you're in pain, is crucial.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of keep going with, what I think makes you a little bit different. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but, we have a lot of our patients, or a lot of our clients are patients of yours. And I've seen some of our clients go other places and, they're like, oh, yeah, I went and got an adjustment, went to the chiropractor, I'm feeling better. And I ask them a simple question. Well, what did they say is wrong? Or what kind of exercises or what kind of guidance did they give you? And a
Hmm.
lot of times I get this crickets, like, well, they didn't tell me anything. They just adjusted me and away I went with no idea what's actually wrong, what muscles aren't working, what's not, they're just planning on going back the next time it hurts and call it a day versus whenever, our clients go see you, they usually come back with a plan. So tell me how that works.
Yeah, so basically everybody's body's different. So that's again where kind of the old school chiropractic mentality was adjustments fix everything, just adjust everyone the same treatment regardless of your problem. I have a neck problem adjustment, I have a back problem adjustment, I have an ankle problem adjustment. But the thing is everybody's body's a little different and what causes their problems can vary. So, we all went to school growing up. And when we had multiple classes, English and math and spelling, and we would take tests to see what we were weak in and what we were strong in. And if you're strong in something, great. And if you're weak in something, what can we do to improve that? And then can we retest later? So when a patient comes in, the first exam is always a series of tests to figure out, okay, where are their problem areas and what can we do to fix that? But the thing is, we need to work as a team to fix this. I'm not your savior. I'm your guide. I'm your health guide on your journey. And so patient comes in, we do an assessment, we find the problem areas to work, and then I'm going to work on that. But I am going to give you homework to because you need to be empowered to fix your own problem. Just like as a student, you can tell the students who do their homework at home and the ones who don't, because when they come back to take the test, they don't do so well. So if I'm like working on somebody's hip, I'm going to have them a basic test. You should be able to stand on one leg for 10 seconds. The average person should be able to do that. And so if you come in and you can't do it for 10 seconds, we're going to do some strengthening and I'm going to send you home with things to strengthen that hip. And then a couple of weeks go by, for muscle changes, you're talking minimum 2 to 3 weeks. But I'm going to retest that down the road and I want to make sure that you're getting to that 10-second stance. So we have audits, we have tests that we want to do, but also we want to empower our patients because there's nothing more frustrating than having a pain or an issue and not knowing how to fix it. You feel out of control. You feel like you're not empowered to do anything about it. So our goal is to teach you how to fix the problem because can you fix it yourself? You're empowered, but I'm a patient too, and there are places that I go. I have a dentist, I have a chiropractor, and I want to know what I can do to manage my problems because I want to have some control in my life and have the ability to treat things on my own. And so, because that's what I want when I go to a doctor, that's what I provide the patients.
Gotcha, which is awesome. As I said, a lot of people don't get that feedback everywhere they go. And that information of what do I do to fix my problem.
Right.
Say that doing those things is one of the hardest parts about your job, like getting people to actually commit to doing those exercises or
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the game for me. It's how can I get this patient's buy-in to know that this is important and this will make a change. So there's a little bit of cause and effect to that. So I like to use, hey, notice how when you sit for a while, your back hurts more the longer you sit, right? Yeah, it does. Okay, so I need you to not sit for more than an hour at a time. The more you stand, the faster it gets better. So I try to use a lot of cause and effect. And I also will tell the patient, I'll hold them accountable. I'll say, hey, in 2 weeks, we're going to retest this and I want to see how much better it is. So I'm kind of putting the pressure on saying, hey, I'm going to have you retest this. And if you can't stand for 10 seconds or not at least get to 5 seconds, you know, I'm gonna know. And the patient doesn't want to let me down. I don't want to let them down. So but it has to be, we have to be working together. If you want someone who's just gonna fix all your problems and it's gonna be me, well, you're gonna be in here 3 times a week for like one of those other guys because you're not doing anything on your own. And I don't like that. Like I want to see progress, right? We all want to progress in our own lives. We want to progress as professionals, and we want our patients to progress. And if I'm not getting you to progress, then, when I first started, I always used to say, like, man, the patient's not doing this, the patient's not doing that. And I used to put it on them. And I realized that's a wrong mentality to have. And now that I've matured in my professionalism, I've realized that I'm going to put all the ownership on and responsibility on myself. Like, yeah, I know there's like they need to do stuff, but if something's not working, I'm going to say, what could I have done better? And it's helped me improve. And that's just, I think it's the right way to go. But yeah, I mean, you see it in your field all the time, right? And you know that it's how can you connect with them up here and get them to realize like there's going to be cause and effect. If you do the good thing, the good results will come, but you have to be patient and you have to put in the work, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I've really spent the last 18 years of my life trying to figure out how do I get people to do kind of what they already know they're supposed to do. It's like,
Yes.
how do I get them to do things the other 165 hours of the week that we don't actually see them? That is what, I strive to figure out and do it at its best, at our best, possible way. I think
Yes.
we're getting closer every time, but you know, or every day we're getting a little bit closer to that solution. But it's been a journey to figure out how do we get into the mind and really coach these people, 'cause that's really what we are, not just a
Yeah.
chiropractor, but you're really their coach. Same thing with me. Like I'm not a gym owner, I'm not a train, I'm a coach. And what, makes the best coaches are how do you get things out of people? How do you get
Yeah.
the most out of a patient? How do you get the most out of a client? Well, the best coaches are able to do that.
And
And
Jeff, I would say over the last year, you and your team have had tremendous success with that. I mean, you have so many success stories now, and I've even seen patients who I know had that mentality of I want it now, I want it now. And you've had them losing 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds now. What would you say in one sentence is the biggest change from a year ago to today, or maybe like a little breakthrough you've had?
so probably the biggest breakthrough that we have had is that we're teaching people to slow down so they can move fast. If I had to make kind of a simple, like maybe a memorable thing, slow down to move fast.
Yes.
And what that means is most people think like, oh, they tell me all these things they've done in the past. Well, when I did this, I lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks or 20 pounds in a month or whatever it is, something really fast.
Yeah.
That's where they're at right now. Back to where they were, or maybe heavier. We're talking about weight.
Yeah.
So in reality is they've actually went nowhere. They move really fast, but they've actually went nowhere because their weight is what it was before they started.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's a
we
good
teach
point.
people to really let's slow down all these things that you want to do, create a process that goes with each one of those things, and then while the weight might come off slowly, the chance they go backwards has been pretty slim over the last 2 years. Really, we've hardly seen any of our, people that have went through our transformation program, hardly any of them I can think of that have regressed. So they've moved slower, but it's actually been faster because the results are still there
Why haven't they regressed, do you think?
because it wasn't too overwhelming. We simplified, it's all basic stuff. We're not recreating the wheel. But when most people try to do stuff on their own, it's through motivation and willpower. And as we know, that lasts for a certain amount of time and then it fades off into the wind and
Right.
we're back versus let's create a system that goes with all of these things, just drinking water. You wouldn't think there's a system to drinking water, but there is. Everybody needs a
Yeah.
system to drink water or a system to eat their fruit, a system to get their vegetables in, a system to go to the grocery store. But you can't create 15 systems in one day. So it's one system at a time over
Yeah.
2 or 3 months. And then now they got a pretty good game plan in place.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
that's, been the biggest thing for us and how we've started to change things and change the mindset around the way people view what they're trying to achieve and take them where they want to go. Because ultimately that's what coaching is. Just taking
Absolutely.
people where they want to go. And, we both are really in a very similar field.
Yep.
A little bit different, but overall it's I think we're both trying to create people that move at their very best and function at their best. And those people that do that are the happiest people generally.
No question.
Um, let's kind of get back to a few more things about you and your business. Uh,
Sure.
first off, like give me a little background on like why did you choose chiropractic?
Yeah. So both my parents always encouraged me to join something in a profession in the medical field. They're both medical doctors, unemployed now, I like to say. They retired last April. Um, but yeah, I mean, they both had a very fulfilling career. They loved what they did. My mom is actually still part-time involved at the hospital. And so they were always saying, hey, do something in healthcare, do something in healthcare. You get to take care of people. You get to, be able to have things that you like. And so when I started looking at the different careers between physical therapy, medical doctor, osteopath, acupuncturist, um, really what was in line with my values most was chiropractic or physical therapy, because I knew that medications, I was not really medicated much as a child, and I knew that wasn't a really, it didn't feel right in my heart as a good solution for health, and that it's an interesting thing because as a country we spend so much money on healthcare, yet we're one of the most unhealthy countries on the planet, right? So something just doesn't match up. So I started looking, and I started looking at physical therapy and chiropractic. And at the time, as a physical therapist, it was really you graduated school and then you went and worked in a clinic and people told you what to do. And I like to have the ability to control and to create. And so the idea of having being a chiropractor and having my own clinic and operating that in a way that I wanted to was just more in line with what I wanted. And I found that there's a school, Logan College of Chiropractic in Chesterfield, Missouri, and all the pieces kind of fell into place. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And it's been amazing because the more you're in it, the more I don't want to say miracles, but you definitely see patients who they saw this and this and this and this and this. I've tried injections. They're right about to get surgery, and then they come to you for help, and you're trying to get them out of a deep dark place. And some of those patients, not all of them, but a few of them that have gone to that point, we've really been able to salvage them and give them their life back, and that's incredibly rewarding. And so, and again, I don't want to say like we're perfect and we help everybody because that's definitely not the case, but we do help a lot of people most of the time get to a better place than when they came to us.
Awesome. Well, I would say it seems like you've made the right choice. Thankfully, I've had the pleasure of, kind of working with you as you've grown your business and watching you, from basically when you started up here in Highland. I don't think it was, you weren't in Highland for too long. I don't think before we kind of met and, I kind of became a patient and we started working together on different stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
is that pretty accurate? Like how long do you think you were in Highland before we actually met?
Uh, Probably about a year when I came back. I would say probably 2019. Because we both started going to that kind of like the book club.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's where we met was book club. And I knew you had a gym, and at some point I was like gonna come, check it out. And and then I want to say 2019 is actually when I started going to Pulse around that time.
Yeah, it's probably been around there. So 5 years, and like I said, and then just to have seen how you've expanded over the last 5 years, going from pretty much just you to now watching you and your staff and everything starting to grow and really see the pieces and the vision fall into place it's been awesome. And
Yeah,
kind of
it's
tell
been fun.
that and how that, like right now you just hired another doctor here recently.
Yeah, Dr. Isaac joined us. He did his preceptorship with us, which is kind of like a residency program. So he's with us in the fall of 2023, and then came on board. Most chiros do a 1 year contract, so he's on board with us now. And the good thing is he's well trained in a lot of the seminars and things that I've taken on my own. Because like I said, when you're in school, it's kind of just adjusting, and you got to learn a lot outside of school. So he's taken numerous courses that I've taken as well. So we kind of communicate on the same level with the same lingo on certain techniques and things. And he's definitely on board because you kind of get two camps of chiropractors. You get the ones who want to adjust and the ones that want to adjust and do exercises and other things. And so he's definitely one that wants people to get moving and be active. And he's from Marine. He's easy to talk to. He's a good like local kid. Went to Triad, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we'll let it
You
work.
know,
I've had
yeah,
the opportunity to work with him. He does a great job with all aspects. He's very social, very easy to talk to, communicates
yeah.
well. Really seems like really knows what he's doing. And you guys both did a great job when you guys came in and did a little demonstration for us at the gym 2 weeks ago about
Yeah.
your back. I thought you guys both did an excellent job with that. So, and then you also have Dr. Blake.
Yeah. So Dr. Blake, he's He's a chiropractor. People don't know, but he's also a registered nurse, and he's going to school online to become a nurse practitioner. So he's incredibly knowledgeable. He's also trained in diagnostic ultrasound, which is incredibly rare. So ultrasound, so just like, if any females were having a baby and they were using ultrasound to look at the baby, he's trained in doing that for musculoskeletal disorders. So you want to look at your rotator cuff, you do ultrasound. You want to look at a sprained ankle, you want to look at a hip joint. I mean, ultrasound is incredible because it's low risk. There's no dyes, there's no radiation, so it's incredibly safe. You can almost see all of the same things you can on MRI. And in some instances, it's more specific, more sensitive than MRI is. So it's incredibly less expensive than MRI. And just the problem is it's hard to train people to want to look at black and white and gray images all the time. But people don't know that. But Dr. Blake's mom was actually involved in ultrasound as well, and she was kind of high up in the ultrasound world, and so he kind of followed in his mom's footsteps there. And so an incredible modality that we have in the office, and he's again really easy to talk to, really easy to work with. He's been a great asset to the team since he joined almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I said I don't think there's any other there's no other chiropractic offices that I know of that have all these tools, really all in one place, or at least not locally. I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but it seems like
Sure.
they got a pretty good team and things in place as far as where you're wanting to go. Is there anything on the horizon that you're hoping to get to?
Yeah, so I mean, as we continue to grow, when I first started in practice, my thought was always to have a multidisciplinary style practice. Multidisciplinary in the sense of, chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, physical therapy, nurse practitioners all under one roof. Keep this, it's a very successful model because it's convenient for the patient. All the doctors are communicating and they're on the same page. A lot of patients express a lot of frustration because they're going to this doctor and this specialist and this doctor and this specialist, and they're not communicating. There's no there's no program that allows this doctor to see their notes and to know what the workup's been and how they're doing. And so it causes a lot of delay in care and redundancy in treatments. And so to have a place where a patient could come in and just have all the doctors having, working together on that same patient. And so actually when I graduated from Logan from grad school, I went out to New Jersey and practiced at one of the most successful multidisciplinary clinics in the country. And when I started there were two clinics, and when I left, they were opening up their sixth clinic, and now they have 14 clinics, and they actually just sold out to Atlantic Coast Medical System, but all their clinics were this way. And patients love that model because it's a team of doctors who are all communicating versus a bunch of individual practitioners doing their own thing. And so that's the goal that we're working towards. And it definitely takes some time to get there, but it's having a good team to work together to get to that point. And so we were at 1,900 square foot for the first five years of practice. Now we're almost 4,000 at our new location, and potentially expanding that space or even finding a new space down the road to continue to grow and offer Highland and the surrounding communities a really impressive, great experience with us, and offering them from the most conservative care with physical therapy, chiropractic, acupuncture, and then moving to more invasive stuff through injections and potentially surgery. It's just getting patients, better as quickly as possible in the safest way with the most conservative style treatment, and then go into more invasive stuff if necessary. And we really just want to leave a mark in Highland and be a trusted location where you're getting ideally the highest quality care, the research or evidence supported, but also in a safe way, and also being able to have a doctor who's going to listen, to understand your problems. I think a lot of times now people are getting shoved in and out of a doctor's office without feeling listened to. And my both my parents, that was one of their strengths, and they say that's always what you got to do. If you just listen to the patient, they'll tell you what's going on, and you're going to get your diagnosis and know what to do. But you have to understand not only physically what's going on with them, but also emotionally and at home and mentally, where they're at, so you can give them the best treatment possible.
Oh, I love that idea. I think you mentioned physical therapy in there. Did you mention
Oh yeah.
because to me that's like a huge thing. If we can make those worlds collide, physical therapy and chiropractic, I think the potential is endless at that point because there's such this barrier between the two. It feels like, maybe it doesn't feel like that for you, but I would say as a patient or
Oh,
consumer
it's
out
there.
there thinking, man, I got to choose one direction or the other versus why can't I have both? And why can't
Yeah.
I have both these people working on my team together versus it seems like one saying, oh, you don't need that or you don't need that versus like, oh, why don't I need both?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say that majority of patients are going to respond well to a combination of the two, which is always what I tell my patients. Hey, patients who are co-treated or co-managed by a physical therapist and a chiropractor tend to get better results than those that just work with one. So I love working with a physical therapist on something, especially because in physical therapy, a lot of times if you get a script, you're a PT and you get a script that's for hip, you can only work on the hip. But what about the core or the ankle and how they all are tied together? And so if you could just work on all of it, you get better results. And so sometimes the physical therapists, their hands are a bit tied. And then from the chiro side, we don't tend to spend 45 minutes to an hour with a patient. I mean, there's a ton that you could do, but it's just not how your insurance allows us to treat. And we are dictated a little bit by your insurance. We're playing a game, and unfortunately they rule the game and we have to play by their rules. But that's why, like, we want to build into having Cairo and PT because they just fit so well together, and it allows us to play the game well because we can work together. And I will say down the road, I do feel that the people's first stop is going to be more of a physical therapist or a chiropractor for movement disorders and things, because right now 30 to 40% of patients with a musculoskeletal condition will go see their primary care physician first. But a primary care physician's musculoskeletal knowledge, like less than 10% of their education is musculoskeletal, right? People don't die from an infected muscle often, or an injured muscle. What you'll die from is your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your lungs not working. So medical doctors see that all the time. They're very good at treating that, way better than I ever could or will be. But when it comes to muscle, joint, disc stuff, you're going to someone who sees less than 10%, had less than 10% of their education on it, and they're going to try and treat you. And a lot of times it's going to be unsuccessful because that's not what they treat every day. That's not their best. That's not their forte. Versus 80 to 90% of patients I treat are going to be right for those things. And so we see it all the time, and we get a lot of repetitions, and we see what works and what doesn't work through our experience. Versus, again, when it comes back to treating everything with the same thing, oh, you have a bursitis, here's a medication. Oh, you have a sprain or a strain, here's a medication. And you need to get more specific than just treating everybody with the same thing there.
Yeah, which the good news is, which I don't think, still don't think a lot of people know, is that you do not need a referral from your doctor to go see a chiropractor or a physical
Oh,
therapist.
no.
Walk right into the door. They'll get you started on a treatment plan, whichever way you go. A lot of people are under the impression still that you need a referral from your doctor, and that's just a huge barrier to entry. Um,
Yeah. Fort- yeah, fortunately in Illinois, it is direct access. So you can walk right in and go see your physical therapist. I will say a lot of them, because of that old school mentality, they are going to try to get a referral from your primary care physician. I wish they would just change that because I think it'll allow them more control and autonomy, the physical therapist of just, and maybe they are pushing for that. But yeah, direct access, you can walk right in and start physical therapy today if you wanted. You can walk right in and start chiropractic care today if you wanted.
yeah. Well, Marcus, I know we're both kind of short on time. I love the direction that your business is heading and where Alvarado Healthcare is going. And wish you guys the best of luck. And well, obviously, I'll see you real soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate you having me on and letting us share a little bit of what we do. And ultimately it's just getting people active, getting people moving, and keep making it sustainable for them. So it's been awesome working with you.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being my first guest.
Hey, shoot, I hope it was good. I hope it was fire. And we'll see how the rest do.
Sounds good. See you, Marcus.
All right. See you, Jeff.